Hey family, welcome back to the Future Bodybuilding Podcast. Let's go through with this Olympia Recap, Judge and Wow Factors, and the press conference information, man. This show was amazing, and I got to say, from my perspective and opinion, this was the best judging across the board for all divisions. I think they're pretty much trying to set a new standard on bodybuilding, but as you can see in this video right here, man, this is a judge point from, I think, Samson Dada's coach. You can see the words typing up there. He's giving them a little bit of direction on what he think he should start posing, because this is the same viewpoint that the judges look at these athletes from. Man, this was an amazing show. I was shocked myself. I got most of my predictions wrong, but I had most of the people who was in the top 5 still landed in that top 5, give or take 1 or 2 placements. But I was excited for the new changes that's going to take place this year, man. And I got to say, all these athletes looked amazing. Besides a couple of you, sometimes, man, a lot of people chase size, but size is not necessarily what you need all the time. You still got to work on definition. Like my man here, Hadi Chupin, won his first Olympia. He was always the most consistent athlete out there. Derek Lunsford landing in top 2 for his second one. Nickwalker, brandoncurry, and bigramy to round out the top 5. Samson Dada landing in 6th. Hunterlabrada 7th. Andrewjacked 8th. William Bonek and Rafael Brando landing in that top 10. I didn't place Rafael in my top 10 predictions, but he did shock the world. He's his first time at the Olympia. Also, he's a big guy. The most shocking for me was bigramy falling, and he just didn't look the same to me also. So I don't know if it's because of the long competition, but a lot of athletes appeared to miss their peak this show. But Hadi, man, and his coach Hanny brought it. As you can see, Hanny also coaches Derek Lunsford, so he had 2 of his athletes number 1 and number 2 in the world. Man, this was just amazing. It's great to see a good team do what they got to do and always come on point. As you can see, he also coached Chris Bumstead, who looked dominant and looks like he won't lose until he's ready to retire himself in classic physique. Let's go ahead and round out that classic physique. You had Chris winning his 4th. Ramon landing in 2nd, Urs was 3rd, Breon Ansley was 4th, and Mike Summerfield landing in 5th. You know, I think pretty much Breon could have edged out Urs, but like I said, they're going for a new look, and Breon did look one of his best performances out there. Sean Carrito landing that number 1 spot again for the 212 title, and Dakota landing in 2. Kamal hit 3 this time around, and Ahmad Ashkadani landed in 4th, and Ole Krivi landing in the top 5. Like I say, give a shout out to Sean Carrito, who's gonna have his first child and expecting in the day, but he still showed up. Brandoncurry, everybody knows that's my favorite physique, and he came in much bigger, but he just didn't look the same to me. I got to admit that I think this was probably his worst performance besides the Arnold Classic. He was big, but when you gain that size, from my appearance, it just looks like it's hard to keep them peaked as long as the show was, because they can't eat like that. They're back there eating rice cakes. They can't stay as full as they needed to for the exercise. But I believe he did make some great improvements. If he would have peaked properly, he would have won this show hands down. But as you can see, they judged the show properly, and they docked all these athletes for not showing up at their best, and they rewarded the younger athletes to take their place. As you can see right here, this was generally a lights out shot for him, but it just didn't look right. I don't know if it's because the live stream, the lights, or the background, it just wasn't the same. If Brandon would have showed up anything like this picture right here, he would have took this Sandow no problem as. Just look at this amazing muscle bellies. Like I say, he's my one of my favorite athletes out there, because we got pretty much similar background, family oriented, and he preaches nothing about family. He's getting a little older, so maybe he's still making improvements, but not the same. As you can see here, Bonek also, I'm thinking he just missed a peak. Both of these pictures right here just doesn't show them at their best, as we've seen in previous competition preps. If Bonek would have showed up like this, he could have won the 2022 Olympia. You know, I just give a shout out to him. He had good coaching. Also came from the 212 division, a hard worker. So Aaron Banks kind of shocked the world, beating out Brandon Henderson. Diago landing in 3rd, Charles Grant, and then Evan Palmero landing at top 5. This was a different aspect for me, because I like Brandon Henderson, think he's more complete. But Aaron did definitely just show it out, and they look like they're changing the standard of what they look for a men's physique. They don't want to get too big, so I can see where they went for the streamlined physique right here. But Brandon Henderson, man, he came in sharp, and I just don't know. Like I said, all the timing and waiting, he might have wasn't at his best, but he is a complete physique. So this is a little tosser for me. And now you can see, man, there's two rivals right here with Hunter and Nick Walker. Hunter ended up bringing a sharper physique, but he was marked down this year as a tougher lineup. As you can see, Nick Walker landed in that top 3, was awarded the People's Champ, and then definitely improved. But I like his look last year better than this year. Looked like his midsection was a little more blockier to me. Just like Ian, a lot of other guys, man, missed a pick this year. And from my perception, I believe it was for him just a long contest. They're back there waiting. As you can see, my guy right here, Blessing, he missed his peak. He didn't show up his best. Akeem didn't show up at his best. And this was a tough lineup. Audrey Shaw showed up at her best and won again. This woman is just dominating her profession. She's the essence of what women's bodybuilding needs to look for, and she's the new standard. As you can see, she has the amazing physique, but she also looks the part as Miss Olympia, the best in the world. As you can give a shout out to my special lady right here, Sydney Gillian. Man, 6 times. She's the Michael Jordan of her class. She is the standard. Jessica landing in the top 2. Lola, her top 3. Jose, 4. Natalia landing in the top 5. This is getting tougher each year, but Sydney, I think she's going to win until she decides to retire. She is just definitely too opposing. She is what this division is all about. And a class act, she's the best in the world, and she proved it again why she is the champ of all champs. So let's give her a special shout out. As you see, Wellness topped out. Franchella landing another victory for the 2nd year in a row. Isabel landing in the top 2. Angela Borges, number 3. Cassandra landing at 4. Rand Fogel landing at top 5. Wellness is a dominant sport in itself. Popularity is off the charts around the world, and it's just steadily growing. But as you can see, these champs was amazing. We had so many divisions that changed again, just like Bikini Marine took the number 1 spot. Jennifer Dory landed in the top 2. Ashley was number 3. Daraja Hill number 4. Lorraine Chapados landed in that top 5. This is a tough competition, but Marine did look her best this year. What I can say about my guy right here, man, this press conference was a little different, and he did definitely miss his peak. I can speak from this myself. Terrence Ruffin, he was 1 pound over, and just like myself, a previous show I did, I came in over, but I'm thinking it was a height measurement. I don't think he said nothing about it, but you have to do any kind of cardio before. You're going to retain water. Even though in amateur ranks you got only less than an hour or 2 to make that weight, and then 24 hours before the show. In Classic, they had 48 hours before these big shows in the Pro League. If he would have showed up anything like this, he definitely could have pushed Chris. Probably wouldn't have beat him because Chris did show up at his best, but he definitely could have landed at top 2 again. I can see right here, the Black Swan, my guy. Man, I'm going to miss him from competing out here again. As you can see, man, he's just an amazing athlete, 2-time Olympic champ. What else you can say about Breon Ansley, man? That back, the best back in the Classic division, in my standpoint. And this is his final year in Classic. But I just give him shots out, man. I know he's going to do good. He's going to keep doing what he got to do in 212. I just want him to stay healthy. And give a shout out to my guy, Corey Morris, who landed in his first top 8 in the Olympia. They finally trying to get him a little shine. His physique always been great. He just been overlooked over again. But just give him a shout out, man. We work out at the same gym, Madhouse Gym in Georgia. And I'm just happy to see this guy keep excelling in what he do, because he is one of the best out there. And now he's getting the recognition that he deserves. Just like my other guy, Keon. I met his pops a couple years ago when I first moved to Georgia, and he's just a phenomenal guy. He was one of the only naturals I knew in the pro ranks on the Olympia stage. So I give him a little shout out. As you can see right here, Chris Bumstead, the most popular athlete in the IFBB right now, showed up at his best and showed out. Who can beat this physique right here? Nobody in Classic physique. Not yet. We didn't see her on the stage, but these are lights out shots, and he's just getting mature and mature. The press conference for me, man, what can I say? It was all over the place. They tried to make it a little entertaining, but I think they need to go back to a different format, that the athletes all are on the same stage, different divisions, but you couldn't get all of that with all the athletes who qualified this year. So it was a record-breaking show this year, and a lot of excitement going into it. But I can say the show was pretty much all over the place because there was too many athletes. The judges had a work cut out for them. The athletes couldn't get enough shine that they needed doing this show, but it still was an amazing event. They put on the work, a lot of expectations. Especially look at this guy right here, Michael Crizzo. Is a phenomenal athlete. He has the size. Once he started learning and getting improved on his conditioning, he's definitely gonna be right up there in the mix. So the future is bright for him. Just like andrewjacked, a lot of hype going into it, but he showed up. Once he nails his conditioning, it's gonna be over. As you can see right here, Rich sparring, man, and a lot of other veterans are critiquing these younger athletes today. And some of them is good criticism because they've been there, they did it, so they are entitled to their opinion. But I don't agree with any bashing of athletes. Anything, try to help these athletes out, reach out to them. But they didn't have to deal with the social media world. It's a little more harsher for these athletes because that's how they make their living. Going to Sarah whereas Sarah, man, is an amazing athlete. Her condition is always on point, but I guess she got fed up. People saying she came in off and she lost her title this year, but she is more conditioned than a lot of male athletes out there. But I'd also lead it up to genetics. You can see here Steve Weinberger, the head judge, man, he put the hammer down this year. He knows Ramy wasn't at his best, and they did penalize him. I don't think the show had anything to do with him. I think everybody kind of missed their peak due to the show myself. Because there's too many coincidences, but they done changed the rules for the 2023 Olympia qualification system, and it will not be no more point system. So you'll miss out 3 more athletes, and it's only the top 5 qualified to miss the Olympia. All other divisions, they're gonna only limit it to the top 3, meaning you'll see some of your top athletes compete more this year. Hopefully make a little bit more money, which is, I guess, positive and negative. It's positive for the league, but not for the athletes because they're gonna put their wrists and health in danger. But hey, y'all stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. It's your boy Hunter 50, and we out.